Alright, hopefully I can remember everything I talked about in this lesson. There was a lot of stuff. To look at your loop menu, you go down to the eye right here. That will open and close the loop menu. And anytime you select something, like if I'm going to cinematic, notice how these are all grayed out. You just hit the reset button up here, it'll all come back. Let's go to orchestral. To audition a loop, I talked about the blue loops and green loops. The blue loops are audio loops. You can change the key, but you can't add any of the notes in there. The green loops are MIDI loops. You can actually edit those quite extensively. So if you click on a loop, it'll start to play. And you just click on it again, it'll stop. If you want to add a loop, you don't have to have a track in the track menu. The minute you do it, Apple will automatically add a track for that loop. Now see, this is coming up as a blue loop. I'll add a green loop. These may not sound good together, but and then if you notice, there's a tempo, key, and beats. Now the tempo is relative. If you want to put something in at 100, 84 will probably be pretty good. If you're going to put something in at like 160, 84 is probably not going to sound good, especially in an audio loop. MIDI loops will sound good in any tempo because they'll change easily. So you just have to listen to it and say, wow, is it sounding good or not? So to, like I said, to extend a loop, all you have to do is, if you notice down here, you can, if you click on the lower right hand or lower left hand side, you'll see a double arrow. That will allow you to take the loop and move it in and out and shorten it or lengthen it. Now if you want to, you notice this loop is 2 bars long, so you can't lengthen it, but you can loop it. So if you go up and hold your mouse up to the upper right hand, I am actually now creating the loop as far as extending it. Now if I want to take and copy the whole loop, or I can just move it around by grabbing the middle. If I want to copy the loop, which I don't know why you'd want to do if you just want to keep moving it this way, but copy it, you just hold down the option key, click on it, hold down the option key, and notice it'll make a copy of the loop. Okay, editing the loop. If you want to double click on it, we'll open up the edit window. The other way you can do it is get to the scissor window. And I talked about if you want to change the key of the loop. So say this one starts off, I don't know what key was this in, I guess it was in D, and I want to move it to E, so I'm going to go up 2 half steps. So I'll click on this loop, okay, and I'll go to pitch right here. I'm going to transpose the pitch up, go 2 half steps, which is equal to a whole step, and notice up here it will change from D to E. So if I play it, the harpsichord thing doesn't sound too good. Now you actually hear it go up to E. So in that way you can manipulate audio loops as far as changing keys. MIDI loops a little different. Double click on it. Sorry. And notice that you have your notes. You can actually grab these notes. You can move them up and down. If you grab them to the side, you can shorten them, lengthen them. You can do quite a bit. You can change the velocity. You can do anything you want with the pitch, velocity. You can also do this in score view. If you want to insert a note, this allows you to insert notes. So say I want to put a quarter note in here. All I have to do is hold down the command key and see how it grays out, and I can actually add a quarter note into here, whatever pitch I want to. So now I can actually change this quite a bit. So that's some basic editing stuff. I think that's pretty. Oh, I talked about exporting. That should be fairly simplistic. You just go up to the share. I think that's all I talked about. So hopefully this helped.